Give me your worst.
Wonderful. I do admire your thirst for knowledge. Emmerich the Evil was killed in a duel against whom?
Egbert the Egregious.
That's right. Emmerich gained notoriety for terrorizing villages in the south of England during the Middle Ages, when he was the master of the Elder Wand. If a chaser keeps their hand on the quaffle as it goes through the goal, what foul are they committing?
Blatching.
The answer was actually haversacking. Blatching is flying to intentionally collide with a player. Stooging is when two chasers knock the other team's keeper away from the goals so that a third chaser can score. A bite from a mackled malaclaw has the unusual side effect of causing what?
Bad luck.
Correct! Native to the European coastline, the effects of a malaclaw's bite can last up to a week. What plant excretes stink sap?
Mimblus mimbletonia.
Correct! The Mimblus mimbletonia plant secretes stink sap as a defensive mechanism when touched. The pepper-up potion evolved from a remedy created by which 12th century wizard?
Linford of Stinchcombe.
Very good. Centuries later, Glover Hipworth would expand on Linford's previous work to create the pepper-up potion we know today. In The Wizard and the Hopping Pot, what does the elder wizard leave for his son in the hopping pot?
A single slipper.
That's correct! The story was created by Beadle the Bard, but there are a few versions. I won't spoil what the slipper was for if you haven't read it recently. The Snallygaster is native to which region of the world?
North America.
That's right. The part bird, part reptile is a distant relative of the Occamy and has serrated fangs and a bulletproof hide. Who is the Muggle knight featured in the Fountain of Fair Fortune?
Sir Luckless.
Correct! The three witches in the story are named Asha, Altheda, and Amata. Oh, I adore a story that ends with a twist. The world's largest kelpie is also known by what other name?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Correct. The Office of Misinformation has worked diligently to discredit any Muggle evidence of the Kelpie's existence. Who was the first Minister for Magic?
Ulick Gamp.
Yes. Gamp's greatest legacy was the founding of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. It outlawed the unforgivable curses. You've answered all of my questions. It's nice to know there's another student who appreciates the value of knowledge. You should be pleased with your performance. Not many students would have done so well. Thank you for humoring me by participating. I had a splendid time. I put the book back on the pedestal for you.
Revelio ought to make quick work of this. Revelio! Professor Weasley's tasks are complete. I should attend Transfiguration.
It's a relief to finally have an answer as to why that portrait was empty.
Revelio!
I heard Professor Weasley transfigured the book with all her test answers into an owl to stop students from cheating.
Taking owls a bit too literally, if you ask me.
I know someone who's related to the inventor of Skelligro. It's true. Limfrid of
Hello, Gareth. So, has your aunt been taking it a bit easier on you lately?
Unfortunately, no. In fact, a few days ago, she gave me a detention. I was only testing a new recipe in a mostly empty classroom, and the fire was put out quick enough.
If you're setting things on fire, then perhaps you ought to rethink your choices.
That's exactly what Aunt Matilda said. Can't let the doubters sway me. When they taste my latest brew, they'll forget their criticisms and the fires. It'll be bigger than butterbeer. Oh, that gives me an idea. Better write it down. Best of luck to you.
If it isn't the treasure. Still can't believe you
All
found
of
that
my
old
relatives
uniform.
work for the
Well
industry.
done.
Every one of them. I suppose I'll probably be a higher.
Settle down, settle down. Transfiguration, as you may be weary of hearing me say, is an exact science that can take a lifetime to master. But we needn't be daunted. Almost anything can be transformed if you can just perceive the potential within it. As I see in all of you, tremendous witches and wizards, every one of you. Or it could just be my eyesight. Now, you all know what to do. Beautifully done.
You wanted to discuss my progress so far this term, Professor.
I did. You seem to have had no trouble in getting up to speed. And frankly, excelling in your schoolwork this year.
Thank you, Professor. The extra assignments have been helpful.
As I suspected they would be. Now, it seems you've been making good use of the opportunities presented by your field guide. Of course, the guide isn't the only measure of success. I've heard that you can brew an impressive Edurus potion. Hopefully, you won't need it anytime soon, but it is a valuable potion to have when it is needed.
Thank you, Professor.
I will say I'm especially impressed with all you've accomplished in light of the rumors of your extracurricular activities. Was your visit to an ex-aura in Upper Hogsfield connected in any way to Professor Fig? I can't begin to imagine what that was about.
No, you know we can't tell the teachers, bro. So, no.
Not at all. I was, merely interested in learning more about the Aura program. I saw Professor Sharp's Aura badge and was intrigued.
I see. I admire your penchant for learning, but do remember that your classwork and field guide are designed to educate you thoroughly. It'll be the end of the year in no time, and you'll want to be well prepared for your OWLs. I'll provide a final assessment at that time to ensure that you're ready for your exams. Until then, well done. You are dismissed.
Since our visit to Feldcroft, something dawned on me about the triptych. Meet me at the Overlook, just north of the Forbidden Forest, and I'll explain.
My plan with the helmet failed, but I have another idea. I think we may be able to find what we need at a goblin mine south of Hogwarts. Meet me there, and bring someone who speaks gobbledygook. I'm not looking forward at all.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
So frustrating. You wanted to speak with me, Mother?
I had hoped to speak with you alone, Natsai.
Your message mentioned your concern about an unusual creature that was spotted in the woods near Hogsmeade. That could have been anything.
You know what it was, Natsai.
I am allowed to leave the castle. I am always careful, Mother.
Careful? Officer Singer disagrees. She sent me an owl telling me that you have been trying to collect evidence of some kind against dark wizards. She berated me for not keeping a closer eye on you, and she is right. I do not want you visiting Hogsmeade for the near future.
But Mother!
My little gazelle, you are well-intentioned, but you must not meddle in the affairs of dangerous people.
If someone had meddled in Matabeleland, Father would still be with us.
I must get to class. Perhaps your friend can get you to listen to reason.
So frustrating. She never listens to me.
She called you her little gazelle. Is that a term of endearment where you're from?
It is specific to me. I am the unusual creature in Hogsmeade she mentioned. Self-transfiguration is not taught at Hogwarts, so I am gently discouraged from practicing it. However, I am an animagus. And it is in my gazelle form that I have been able to wander the highlands rather freely until now. Much to my mother's chagrin. That is how I managed to spy on Rookwood and Harlow.
Yo, somebody tell you to stop drinking, bro. Damn.
How does it feel to transform into an animal?
Well, the first time, it can be a bit unnerving. I felt a kind of searing pain and a strong double heartbeat. But it gets easier the more you do it. I no longer feel any pain, and I must say, I find a sense of comfort in the double heartbeat. And I love being able to view the world from a different perspective.
Can you choose what form your animagus will take?
Oh no, a person's animagus form is determined by their personality. My mother is convinced that my form is a gazelle because I adapt well to any situation. I believe it is because I can sense danger and keep my wits about me.
Were you born an animagus, or did you learn to become one?
Animagi are not born. The process is quite elaborate. It involves holding a mandrake leaf in one's mouth for an entire month, then placing the leaf in a crystal phial so that it is imbued with moonlight, then adding one of your own hairs. And that is just the beginning. Self-transfiguration is common among students at Wagadu, but Professor Weasley considers it much too dangerous to teach at Hogwarts.
Now the nickname makes sense. What an extraordinary ability to have.
It is. I love transforming, but Mother is less enthusiastic about it. She says that no creature, especially one as rare as a gazelle, should be bounding about where poaching has become so prevalent. She claims that she has foreseen tragedy befall me in my gazelle form. But she has used her sight to control me too many times. I no longer believe it.
We're making good progress. We can't quit now.
I agree. I have never considered quitting, even for a moment. You could have fled the moment you discovered that Rookwood, Harlow, and Randrock were after you, but you did not. I choose to act as you have. I must deal with Rookwood and Harlow, not hide from them. My mother cannot know where I am all the time. Thank you for being here during that rather awkward conversation.
We weren't alone. You're annoying.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Revelio.
Anne is getting worse. If there is any chance that the relic from Slytherin's spellbook can help her, I must find it. I'm requesting your help. Meet me outside of Feldcroft, near the catacomb.
Seems a pleasant enough little place.
Anyone can run a shop if they inherited it.
Just because you know. Vision of goblins ruling over wizards. We'll eat nothing to poach in Arrynshire except spiders. Not worth the trouble.
I wonder if I'm safe to explore in there.
You're here. Good.
Sebastian, that relic you mentioned.
I believe one of Slytherin's students stumbled upon the relic during an assignment to study sarcophagi in this catacomb. From what I read in a report by the student, they weren't permitted to take it with them, so I must assume it's still here. As I mentioned earlier, this relic grants its holder the power to reverse dark magic curses. If it's in this catacomb, I have to find it. For Anne. I need to see her.
I'd be interested to know what else the student discovered.
Have a look. Unfortunately, there's no name on it, but I suspect if it was important enough for Slytherin to stash in his spellbook, it's worthy of further study.
I'm ready to explore the catacomb. Perhaps we can visit Anne when we've finished.
Perfect. By the way, Ominous has been asking about you. You didn't tell him what we were doing, did you?
I didn't. I promise.
Good. Ominous would be livid if he knew what we were about to do. I'll be interested to compare what lies inside to what I've read about this catacomb. I'm sure that foul smell is the scent of success. Try not to lose your nerve just yet.
At least now we know we're not alone in here.
Perhaps that was it. And the rest of the tomb will be insect-free.
Spiders aren't insects.
Don't start. We're here for a reason. I'd say opening them all is justified. This room is taller than it looks.
Wingardium Leviosa! Leviosa! Accio! Wingardium Leviosa! Leviosa!
Finding a chest in an inconspicuous loft. Brilliant. We've rid the world of another spider. I shall sleep better tonight. Watch your step. I nearly slipped there. All this grass. It no longer feels like a tomb. I've read about catacombs that underwent expansion efforts and ran into problems. Often cave-ins.
And then were abandoned.
Exactly. We'll be fine, though.
Confringo!
Now this is the sort of great room I want to be buried in.
Surrounded by grandeur.
Grandeur and then some. Even an altar with a pile of bones. Lovely.
Bones outside a sarcophagus? Seems odd. There's something here by the altar.
What did you find?
Looks like part of a student's diary. It mentions plans to return for the relic and conjuring barricades using bones.
Of course. The student's summary referenced the space beyond the Great Room, which means this can't be a dead end. Let's divide and conquer. You work on sorting out the bone barricades, I'll look around and see what we missed. Hold on to that diary entry. There may be more to it.
It does mention something else. It says their next assignment was learning the Imperius Curse.
Really? Interesting. We need to focus on moving beyond this room. But let me think for a moment.
Do you think the pages were left here on purpose?
Slytherin mentioned a student who excelled in charms and always carried a satchel stuffed full of notes. They might have been left on purpose, or the student may have simply dropped them.
Of course. I'll start to search for those barricades.
Brilliant. There's more to this than even I imagined. Look, bones stacked oddly on either side of this archway.
Leave no stone unturned. Or in this case, no bone. We're in a tomb. I assume eerie sounds come with the territory.
You've done it! I knew we'd get through. I felt it in my bones.
Nice.
Before we trudge on further, I've just realized something. The student's diary mentions the Imperious Curse. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to need it here. It's an unforgivable, but useful when you're outnumbered. Places the victim completely under the caster's control. So, if you'd like to learn Imperio, I can teach you.
Shouldn't I know more about what the curse entails?
Remember the blasting curse? Same idea, except when it comes to unforgivable curses, your intention has to be clear. You have to mean it.
Where did you learn the Imperious Curse?
I taught myself. Don't tell Ominous that I've told you. It's not exactly something I can brag about, but it may come in handy. I think you ought to know it.
It's probably wise to know the spell.
I couldn't agree more. A spell that could save your life shouldn't be unforgivable. You have a lot at stake. You have an ability that evidently no one's seen for centuries. Focus your wand movement. It's not an easy spell to master. There we go. Something troubling ahead. Be on your guard.
rest of the day.
Dramatic, isn't it?
Another barricade. Considering how well you did on the last one, this should be a cinch.
How gracious of you.
I try. That worked. Keep going.
Expelliarmus. Guardian Leviosa.
You are head and shoulders above these bones. Nicely done. I see why Slytherin's student was so entranced with this place. Dead end. Lovely. All that for nothing.
Hold on. Don't give up yet. Sebastian! The relic! Look! Could it be? The note and rendition of the relic. It matches. This must be where the student left the relic.
I can't believe it. After all this, it lines up. We've really found it.
What do you suppose is meant by the dark sacrifice required to realize the relic's potential?
I have no idea. But we're here for the relic.
I'm willing to ignore what the journal entry says. We're taking the relic.
Agreed. This is meant to be. For Anne's sake, I'm taking it. Let's get to Feldcroft. I must keep this relic secret, especially from my uncle. Is that ominous? Ominous. The sounds we kept hearing. It was you.
You gave me no choice. I had to follow you. Sebastian, please, leave the relic alone. We can find another way to help Anne.
I'm sorry, Ominous, but I'm taking it.
No, you're not. If you won't put it back, then I will.
Hold on, both of you. Sebastian, please, take a step back.
Fine, but Ominous knows I won't step back from a fight.
Can't believe this.
How much did you hear?
Everything. I heard you encourage Sebastian to take the relic.
Sebastian's done his research. He knows what he's doing.
Sebastian makes things sound easy when they could be impossible or dangerous. We need to stop him.
And if nothing will change his mind?
Something has to. I need your help.
I came too far, bro.
Sebastian's right. We need that relic.
I'm sorry. My mind is made up.
Are you willing to sacrifice your friendship over this?
I might be. How could I choose to stand by and watch him do this?
What if the choice wasn't yours? You wouldn't be to blame for what happens.
What in the world are you suggesting? Imperium?
Now that you say it out loud, it sounds absurd. But I have another idea. We allow Sebastian to leave with the relic under one condition. After this, no more.
I feel that's what we agreed to in the scriptorium. I'm being taken for a fool.
You're not, Ominous. This may be the only way to keep your friendship intact. Let's trust him to know what's best.
Fine. If I trust him on this, I'm trusting you too. The dark arts seem harmless until it's too late. Go then. Leave with the relic. I'll not say a word more. I hope I don't regret this.
Sebastian, we're ready.
What is it? I haven't changed my mind.
Ominous has. Let's go.
What? Ominous?
I'll explain on the way. Come on.
Well, what happened back there?
Ominous and I found a compromise.
Ominous simply needs a moment with you and he'll change his mind. Is that it?
I told him we ought to give you this chance, that the relic is too important to ignore.
There has to be more to it than that. Tell me.
We agreed on what was needed, Sebastian. You have my word.
Oh, bro, this is bad.
I never wanted to keep all this from Ominous. He just doesn't understand. And I didn't want to worry him all over again.
Why they put me in this situation?
As we were leaving, Ominous wouldn't even acknowledge me. That's not like him.
He was troubled, Sebastian. Even though we agreed to it all, it's been a lot to take in.
I thought he understood. He knew we couldn't give up. All of this is too important. For Anne. When we get to Feldcroft, I'd rather Anne not know what had to be done to get this relic. She thinks like Ominous. It'd only upset her. Oh no, this isn't good.
What is it?
Smoke! Over there, by the hamlet. Feldcroft's in trouble. They're under attack.
Let's hurry.
What have you done?
Saved my sister.
With an unforgivable curse. From that damned book, no doubt. Your father would be ashamed. You've gone too far, Sebastian. Stay away from her. From all of us.
What did my uncle expect me to do? The Imperious curse saved Anne's life. That goblin was going to kill her.
There was little time to react, but it was an unforgivable curse.
I acted in the moment. That's all. I shall make my uncle see reason. He cannot banish me from my own home, from my sister.
It might be best to let him calm down a while. May I speak to him? Perhaps I can help to ease the tension a bit.
You may be right. Very well. Probably best if I get away from here for a while. I'll head back to Hogwarts.
What was he thinking?
Pardon me, Mr. Sallow.
What Sebastian did was inexcusable. You cannot possibly be about to defend him.
Sebastian acted rashly, but he acted out of instinct to save Anne.
Out of instinct? With an unforgivable curse? This family does not resort to using dark magic even against our enemies. What Sebastian did cannot be undone. That you are defending Sebastian's behavior at all tells me everything I need to know. You are as guilty as he is. Sebastian is to come nowhere near Feldcroft, nowhere near Anne. Unforgivable curses are so named for a reason. If I hear that either of you continues down this path, if either of you uses dark magic, I will notify the headmaster immediately. Why, Sebastian?
Wow, bro, that was a lot.